when you watch the offense last night, it was dictated by what the Eagles were doing. They were playing their safeties deep. They didn't want the ball going over their head. They wanted to keep it in front of them. And, Dak is in charge of this offense at the line of scrimmage. Pretty easy to give the ball to Zeke right here when really the Eagles are a man short. You look at the safeties back on this play right here. You've got the big fullback right there, Connor McGovern. And, this is just a weak side ISO lead. I mean, this is old school football. We can watch this in black and white right here. And the Eagles are a man short. When you watch this from the end zone, the safeties are back. So here comes McGovern. This is a pretty easy blocking scheme. But right here, Zeke can see it. The safety is back there protecting the goal line, and Zeke is gashing him for 8. Pollard did the same thing. But when the safety came up, C.D. Lamb right here, and there's the safety, Anthony Harris. When he comes up to stop the run, there's Dak with play action, and they pushed it down the field, like you said, Jane. Opening drive of the game, 44 yards to C.D. Lamb, put it right on the goal line to punch it in. And then when they wanted to throw it against the 2-deep safety, they had all kinds of pass route combinations to attack this coverage right here. This is just basic cover 2 coverage right here. They run the wheel behind the skinny post, and there's Dalton Schultz right there. Pretty easy read for Dak Prescott right there to get that ball in. I thought that, what I've seen from Kellen Moore so far this year is every week the game plan has been different. The Eagles' defense and how they played last night dictated what they did last night, and one of the reasons why the running game was so good. It also helped to have Zach Martin back at right guard. He's simply the best at what he does in this league right now. A lot of those runs come right back over Zach.
Learn from it and move on. I've said it a number of times, and I feel this way after every loss, but I take responsibility for how this game went tonight. I take responsibility for that. I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to learn from it. We're going to be a better team from it. I believe that. I truly believe that. You take you a deuce, you don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on. We're going to flush it and move on.
The Buccaneers, who need some help at corner, and they are bringing in Richard Sherman.
That's right, Andrew. 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback Richard Sherman on his way to Tampa right now for a visit later today with the Buccaneers that could yield a deal. The Buccaneers first reached out to Sherman a couple of weeks ago. There have been multiple contenders in the market making a strong push of late for Sherman as injuries have mounted, but he wanted to make sure that he was in the right situation. Sherman is 33 years old. He only played 5 games last season while dealing with a calf injury, but he is completely healthy now. I'm told that he's down to his old Seattle playing weight of 195 pounds, and he has been undergoing therapy since that arrest he had back in July on 5 misdemeanor charges. You mentioned what's going on with the need for the Bucs at the quarterback position. Sean Murphy-Bunting already on injured reserve. Jamel Dean, I'm told, avoided a major knee injury this past week, but he's probably going to miss a couple of weeks too. Sherman wouldn't be ready to play this week in all likelihood against the Patriots. He'll need a week or two to ramp up, but certainly, Mike, a rare opportunity to acquire a player of Sherman's caliber at this stage in the season.
Yes, and Jason Light, the general manager, knows where his holes on the roster are, as does assistant general manager Tom Brady, who has been speaking directly to Richard Sherman and trying to recruit him to Tampa. I mentioned that to somebody, and they said, yeah, but, does Todd Bowles want him? Does Bruce Arians want him? Bruce Arians didn't want Antonio Brown. Tom Brady wanted Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown wound up in Tampa Bay. So it doesn't even matter to me what the coaches want on this one if Brady himself is focused on bringing Sherman there. And so these two who have been, acquaintances, I would say, since Sherman got in his face many, many years ago when he was a young player for the Seattle Seahawks, now could be joining forces in Tampa Bay. Much of that Brady himself's doing. So let's keep an eye on this one and see how it goes.
Marlon Mack, evidently, Tom, might be thrilled if the Colts trade him. Came back from the Achilles. That happened week 1 last year, but has not really gotten on the field much this year.
That's right, Andrew. Only 5 carries this season for Marlon Mack, who came back on a 1-year deal to Indianapolis coming off of that Achilles tear. He was inactive this past Sunday against the Titans, and my understanding is the reason for that is that the Colts and Marlon Mack's representatives have mutually agreed to seek a trade for the running back. Mack is still only 25 years old. He is healthy right now, ready to contribute, but he's buried on a depth chart where Jonathan Taylor is the bell cow. They just extended Nyheim Hines. So many running back injuries around the league, you would certainly think there is going to be a market out there for Marlon Mack. Nothing imminent as of now. He's still with the team, but a situation to monitor here in the days to come.
And as we saw with Christian McCaffrey getting hurt last week, obviously, you need two good backs to win in this league. There are some teams out there that have two Pro Bowl caliber backs. Take the Browns, for example. You'd have to think there would be a market at the right price for Marlon Mack. We have the last two number one overall picks in Joe Burrow, Cam, and Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, absolutely. It should be a fun one, right? Number one and number one. We actually got a chance to talk to Trevor today and asked him about his relationship with Joe Burrow. And he said, hey, I don't know the guy very well, but he did spend time with them 3 summers ago at the Manning Passing Academy, as if the Mannings need any more PR this week. They got some here. And he said that their other time they met was the national title game. Of course, Burrow's LSU Tigers beat Lawrence's Clemson team there, and he said they gave him congratulations there. But he said he's a great player, and he's looking forward to the matchup. It's an interesting mix with these two young quarterbacks, right? Because Burrow's in year 2, and he's having some success. He's having a good start to the year. Joe Mixon, the running back, said this week that Burrow, it looks like he's getting his swag back after he had a run for a first down. Whereas Lawrence, follow me here, he's lost 2 games in high school, lost 2 games in college, and now he's already lost 3 games in his first year here in Jacksonville. So he's trying to get back on the winning track. He said that one thing that he is thinking that he's improving on is his progressions and his accuracy. So those are 2 areas of optimism for Lawrence and his Jaguars offense as they head into Thursday night.
It is very much a work in progress, not only for the quarterback and the coach, but for the roster as well. Cam, I got about 30 seconds remaining here. This one day after they traded last year's 9th overall pick, C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, absolutely. I asked defensive coordinator Joe Cullen directly about did they do all they felt like they could to save Henderson and make this thing work. And he said, yeah, we have no regrets there. We feel like we did everything we could. You know, there's no way to sugarcoat this. This was a number 9 overall pick last year, and they essentially had to trade him away for pennies on the dollar. But one thing they are happy about is they like the development of their second-round pick, Tyson Campbell. They believe he's going to move into the starting lineup, and they've got a big battle this week against a trio of Bengals receivers if they all play. So that's one thing to watch, how they respond after that trade.
It gets worse for the Eagles because yet another injury, and this one's serious on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's Isaac Seumalo now. He is down for the rest of the season. The team announcing that Seumalo has a Liz Frank injury that will require surgery, done for the season. He missed some time last year with a knee injury. It was part of a season in which the Eagles' offensive line was extremely banged up. I mean, they kept having to go to reserves throughout the season. But in this case, they've already got guys. I'm sorry to be laughing during an injury hit here, but you got Seumalo down. Brandon Brooks is down. Lane Johnson was the only one that provided a timeline on that. He said last week it was going to be 8 weeks for Lane Johnson. Jordan Mailata missed this last game with a knee injury. I told he's got a shot to play against the Chiefs, but he may be down again. So the Eagles looking at their offensive line saying, here we go again. Landon Dickerson, the second-round pick, the rookie, stepped in, and he's played in Brandon Brooks' absence. It's been a little up and down. They like Dickerson for the long haul, but he may need some seasoning at guard. So, yeah, not looking great on the Eagles' offensive line right now.
Let me explain why Tom was laughing there. He's not laughing at you, Mike. He's laughing near you or next to you here. We're in a brand new building here, and sometimes, we got to figure out the gremlins here. And there was like an unnecessary zoom to the top on your face.
You don't want to get too close here, okay? The closer you get...
Dramatic reaction shot, really.
Look, I mean, it's a beautiful new studio. It's just, trying to work out some of the kinks,
Spielberg uses that in Jaws. You truck the camera forward, but you zoom out. It gives it a dramatic... Anyway.
Yeah, maybe it was a right click. I don't know. I'm still learning the buttons here. Let's talk, Jeff, about how well built the Chiefs are. Because they have the quarterback, and he's the magic deodorant. And he can fix any problem. But they've been down double digits in 3 of their last 4 games, including the postseason. That's exhausting. And I think it says something that they're bringing in Josh Gordon.
Yeah, it does. It says there's a little bit of panic here right now. And, the defense has been a problem in the first 3 games. But maybe their remedy for that is outscoring people, just getting more explosive on offense. Now, Gordon will start on the practice squad. He's had his issues with drugs and suspensions, but second wide receiver has been a big problem for this team in the first 3 weeks. Aside from Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, they haven't gotten the production they wanted to get from McCole Hardman, from Byron Pringle, Demarcus Robinson. Those guys haven't stepped up. Remember in the offseason, they were looking at people like Juju Smith-Schuster and Josh Reynolds to take that job. So more weapons here for Patrick Mahomes. Again, Gordon on the practice squad to start, but he may be on the field faster than we expect, Andrew.
Josh Gordon, 2013, one of the greatest wide receiver seasons in recent memory, and he did it in only 14 games.